All right, meantime, FBI agents have raided Jeffrey Epstein's Little St. James Island as questions continue to mount over Epstein's jail cell death. And who else may have been involved in his sordid background of sexually abusing young girls? RT correspondent John Huddy is joining us from Miami. So, John, what can you tell us about Epstein's death at the Metropolitan Correctional Facility in Manhattan?
Well, Manila, we're learning some more information today, specifically about staffing issues at the MCC, as you just mentioned, that may have led to Epstein not being supervised as he really should have been. Epstein was found Saturday morning in his cell at the MCC, which is in Lower Manhattan, known for its extremely tight security. It has a supermax section that's housed some pretty notorious criminals, among them Joaquin Guzman, El Chapo, other high-profile inmates as well. Well, now we're finding out, Manila, that one of the guards in Epstein's unit was a fill-in employee. He was a temporary employee because of staffing shortages throughout the Bureau of Prisons, the BOP, including the MCC, which is due to a hiring freeze that was instituted by the Trump administration back in 2017. Epstein was supposed to be checked on by guards basically every 30 minutes, but apparently, as we've been reporting, that procedure was not being followed, and he had not been checked on for several hours leading up to his death. He was found, of course, in his cell with now, as we're finding out, a bedsheet around his neck, according to various sources and reports, and was pronounced dead at the hospital a short time later. The chief medical examiner in New York City said that she's apparently said she was confident that the cause of death was death by hanging. However, that said, there are serious questions. You heard in Caleb's report, ongoing questions about the circumstances leading up to his death. That said, U.S. Attorney General William Barr has opened an investigation into Epstein's jailhouse death, saying yesterday that there were, quote, serious irregularities at this facility that are deeply concerning that demand a thorough investigation, Manila.
Yeah, absolutely. And John, the investigation is also continuing into Epstein's history of sexual abuse and sex trafficking allegations, specifically with a major raid happening at one of his properties now, right?
That's right. FBI agents and also the NYPD have raided Epstein's Little St. James Island. About a dozen or so agents descended upon Epstein's, that luxurious private island that we visited a couple weeks ago. They did that on Monday. Epstein owns not only Little St. James Island, where his main residence was, but also Great St. James Island, which is just across the bay there off the coast of St. Thomas, though there's really nothing on Great St. James at this point. He was building some structures there, apparently to be used as employee housing and equipment storage. I'm also told that FBI agents have not yet served any search warrants or raided Epstein's property, more than 2,000 square feet of office space at the American Yacht Harbor in Red Hook, which is on St. Thomas Island, where he keeps one of his boats. He has several slips there. Among them, he keeps the LSJ, Little St. James barge, which is used to transport workers and equipment to both islands. Speaking of the islands, when we visited a couple weeks ago, except for some groundkeepers there, both islands were very quiet with very little happening. We know now that Epstein entertained some of his rich and powerful and elite friends on Little St. James, and those we've talked to who not only live and work on St. Thomas and have come across Epstein, but also who may have worked for Epstein in the past, described him often having young-looking girls in tow on St. Thomas and on his island. And part of the focus now on this overall story and the investigation is anyone who may have been involved in his crimes, among them specifically Ghislaine Maxwell, his former friend and partner, who's accused of essentially acting as his madam, recruiting young girls to work as basically, according to the allegations from some of the victims, sex slaves for Epstein. Attorney General Barr said that anyone who is complicit in Epstein's crimes, quote, should not rest easy. Manila, back to you.
All right, John Huddy, thank you for that report.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.